The worsening drought in the Eastern Cape continues to receive attention. The Minister of Water and Sanitation, Lindiwe Sisulu, met with the provincial government in East London today. The minister discussed ways to respond to the deteriorating situation. The discussion centered around getting consensus for the way forward and to discuss the specific demands the Eastern Cape government has put forward to alleviate the crisis. Well, for more on this story, we cross to our reporter, Abongile Jantjies, who is standing by for us in East London. Thanks very much, Abongile. Tell us what's happening where you are.
Good day, Nompu. Indeed, we are in East London, where the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Lindiwe Sisulu, was here, giving an outline on what their plans are to address the drought here in the Eastern Cape, which you'll remember that the province has been declared a disaster area, and things are not looking good at all for the province, as our farmers and residents are mostly affected. Well, the province has wrote to the National Department of Water and Sanitation to ask for financial fundings and other ways to alleviate the crisis. But to tell us more, I'm now joined by the Premier of the province, Oscar Mabuyane. Sir, thanks a lot for your time and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to viewers at home.
The minister was here today. What's your take on what she said?
Well, it's a progress on the work that we are currently doing on the ground, and a lot of challenges. The disaster that we have declared on the drought, that really requires a lot of collaborative effort and cooperative governance to be hands-on and all hands on the deck. So we are trying to find a solution, and it's not going to be easy, of course, to finding a panacea to the challenges that we have. The drought in this province has been there for some time, especially in the areas of Karoo, Beyers-Naudé, Graafrenet, to be specific, and now it has reached a point where really it is out of control. Actually, there are a lot that are coming in. Almost all our districts here have gone to declare that as a disaster. So we've got a huge challenge on our hands here as a province, and we are calling everyone, and we know what's going through farmers and the difficulty of what they are currently experiencing, and we're trying our level best as the province has actually reprioritized this budget to a tune of about 174 million, and we have written to national. That's why Minister was here requesting the intervention as well from them, and looking at about 600 million to basically try to mitigate the challenge, not really to address the infrastructure issues. They've got a huge backlog in the province. You need a lot in terms of addressing the huge water infrastructure backlog in our province. We still have other dams that have got water full to their capacity, but water without being reticulated to the communities adjacent. So we need that kind of support, municipalities' capacity to deal with issues, but also the issues of performance. It becomes an issue even on the legal resources that we have. So we're looking at all those issues comprehensively and how best. Now we have agreed to have this joint cooperation and joint collaboration effort in forming this multi-ministerial task team led by ministers and deputy ministers as well as the MECs to ensure that this matter is actually monitored on a daily basis and the necessary rapid response is done as we continue dealing with this challenge. It looks like it's going to be with us for some time. As you see, even other dams now are really drying up at below 5%. Serious the issues now that our people are getting into day zero. It's a huge challenge. It's not just a provincial issue. Yes, as a province we have declared disaster, but we need national as well to come in because our resources as a province are not even nearer to help us to solve these kind of issues.
I understand this. This needs all spheres of government, from local to national. How will you ensure that there is that collaborative effort, especially at local level, where residents are, where they are mostly affected, saying that water tankers, they don't even know the times where the water trucks are coming?
Leadership, and the centre must hold. That coordination, the IGR space, the Office of the Premier can no longer rest on its laurels and watch. It must actually date its hands to ensure that we are monitoring, we are implementing every plans that we have. As I've indicated, it might be difficult to get a permanent solution now, but whatever that we bring up, it must mitigate these effects, and that's why we've got national. In the context of our district development model that was launched last year, we're saying everyone must come on board. We're also looking at the Department of Land Affairs and Rural Development or Agriculture at a national level coming in. We've tried our level best to help supply feed to the farmers, to help their livestock, but also you need that kind of support. So we don't want a piecemeal approach. All government departments that's supposed to be coming on now that we have declared the disaster and we have actually gazetted it. We are expecting everyone to come on board. We've written letters to almost every minister concerned. That's why Minister Sisulu was here, and we really appreciate that leadership that she provided, and we're expecting other ministers relevant in their sectors to also come on board and help us to find a way of arresting the problem.
Apart from drilling boreholes and delivering water, what other plans do you have in terms of technology to bring water to the people?
Currently, the water that we can rely on is the underground water. That's why you speak about boreholes. But also, as I've indicated, we also have some in the Eastern Cape. It's the only province where we've got huge rivers that are flowing from mountains straight to the ocean without being actually tempered. So we've got to find other alternative technologies of harvesting water without relying only on water from the rainfall. But also the issue of desalination as well, because we've got water here, and how best government must be able to look at investing in those kind of infrastructure that is necessary to help us. That's why you would need national to come on board on that, because with the current budget that we have, even you combine the provincial and the local one, it might not really help us with the kind of challenges that we have. But we are expecting us to look at all available possible ways, and including the alternative technologies I've indicated, to ensure that we provide people who want water, and that water is their constitutional right. It's a human right. If you can't get water and the life of human beings come to a standstill, and it's not only about human beings, it's also an issue of fauna and flora, because same plants and animals are looking for the same water, and animals are dying of hunger and thirst out there. So we definitely need that kind of a collective effort by government, not local, district or province, but all of us as government. We've got one government in South Africa, one vision, one plan. We must respond to the challenge like this, all of us at the same time.
This 600 million rand that you are talking about, is it enough for the province?
Absolutely not enough. If you've heard farmers indicating that probably to feed the animals that we have, you remember Eastern Cape is a province that has got a high number of livestock here in the province across. So if you talk about cattle, you talk about sheep, you find them here. Then the farmers were indicating that it's estimated at about 13 million a day if we wanted to definitely deal with the problem that farmers are confronting. But how are we using the legal resources we have at least to mitigate the situation, move forward? Because if you talk about economic development there in the Eastern Cape, you talk about agriculture, you talk about the same issues there that are coming out of the livestock, milk, wool, meat and all that. So you need that. So you can't grow the economy here without really investing there. So that's why it's important for us to begin to look at that issue in terms of its value chain. So definitely the money will never be enough, but we're saying at least it can help us to move from point A to point B, moving forward, and see how best probably the God himself will be able to see how best to help us in actually pouring in the rain that we need so much, desperately needed.
Sir, I understand that you are currently in a meeting. Thanks a lot for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Well, that's the Premier of the province, Oscar Mabuyane, briefly telling us about the plans and what transpired and what are the outcomes of the meeting with Minister Lindiwe Sisulu of Water and Sanitation. While they are expecting to bring a lot of solutions with this ministerial task team, it remains to be seen whether it will yield any positive results. As from us here in East London, it's back to you in studio.
Thanks very much, Abongile, for that report. The South African Communist Party is holding a memorial lecture